Hello, CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ the Old Friends Net. CQ the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR. Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly on this frequency, Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. We conduct the net in the Amplitude Modulation mode and the roundtable format. It's a great place to gather information on vintage gear, maybe trade a rig, look for a part, or just have a good time talking about old-time equipment and other issues. So, CQ the Old Friends Net. Stations wishing to check in, give me a call and come now.
N4LQ.
KZ4 Bravo.
T4GDN.
WB4NKL.
M4IYQ.
K4JAL.
November 4 Alpha Kilo.
K1VVC.
WA4FJQ.
All right, let me give you the list of stations I've heard thus far. N4LQ, KZ4B, K4GDN, WB4NKL, N4IYQ, K4JAL, N4AK, K1VVC, and WA4FJQ. Who did I miss?
WF2 Whiskey Foxtrot 2 uniform.
W4MEC.
WA4EVK.
All right, recognizing WF2U, W4MEC, and WA4EVK. Any other? Okay, let me run down the list again. N4LQ, KZ4B, K4GDN, WB4NKL, W4IYQ, K4JAL, N4AK, K1VVC, WA4FJQ, WF2U, W4MEC, WA4EVK. One more time, any other station? Okay, nothing heard. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon to everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon, wherever you're located. We've got partly cloudy skies, 69 degrees, and been a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Had Pastor Appreciation Day at church today. We had a breakfast at 9 a.m. and service at 11, and a good time. So I feel appreciated. Anyhow, let's see. I'm cheating today. I'm running an ICOM 756 Pro 2 with a Heil Classic mic and a TL922A amplifier, somewhere close to legal limit. So we'll go ahead and get started. Steve, here it comes. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Well, we appreciate you too, Dave. And even if you are on a rice box and a plastic mic, what in the world has this net come to? Plastic mics. I'm on a 10-pound D104 here. Anyway, on the 32 V3 and 75A4 doing the receiving. It's been really cloudy, super cloudy here, severe clouds, no rain at all, and most of the rain, I think George has got most of the rain over that direction, and I'm almost surprised he's here because I'm hearing some thunderstorm crashes from that direction. So, with that, over to John, KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group, KZ4B, fine business, Steve. And I have a question. What makes a D104 weigh 10 pounds? Is that something special, or are you like me, losing strength rapidly with old age? I was talking to my son today who was at Myrtle Beach, and they said it was raining cats and dogs. And I too am hearing static crashes, probably coming from that direction. It was nice and warm today compared to what I was anticipating, which is always nice. And so even though it was overcast, I will classify it as a nice day. And Dave, so far you're booming in stronger than anybody, although Steve's doing quite nicely. So with that, over to George, K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B in the groups, K4GDN. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm running the Drake station today, the 4Bs. I guess about 10 or 11 watts in the hill, 4B getting about 200 out on the tuning. And I guess I'm kicking up a couple of hundred. Hope it doesn't drive your AVC too bad there. Everybody seems to be coming in pretty good. We have had a bit of rain here. It didn't rain much yesterday. However, today has been raining all day long. I think most of the rain was down around Charleston. They pretty much closed that area down over there by the medical college. My brother lives down there. It was even on national television. They were having so much trouble, not only with the rain, but with the king tides. And the king tides are creating some problems here in Myrtle Beach, particularly in Garden City and Merrill's Inlet. The rain hadn't been, it's been constant. It's still raining a little bit here now, but I suspect we're going to start seeing some flood and rain next week after it clears off when the water from North Carolina starts running on down to Walkable River. But anyway, right now we seem to be doing okay. So with that, I'll pass it on to Cliff. WB4NKL and the group K4GDN.
K4GDN, it's WB4NKL. Good copy, George, and I can tell you're on the Drakes. It really makes the S-meter jump around on those modulation peaks. Got 70 degrees here, and looking at the forecast, no rain till maybe next Sunday. So it's we haven't had any rain, I guess, in about a week, and it's a week out. So it's finally dried up after a rainy summer and part of the fall. It's finally quit raining, and the yard's about quit growing. I think that's about over with. Maybe one more time here and get that wound up. Man's in pretty good shape. Good copy on everybody so far. So pass it on. Big group here. Go ahead, Chuck. N4IYQ, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group N4IYQ. Won't stay, but this will be my one and done. We're at a friend's helping him out with his rig and his amplifier. Got it hooked up today. And we've got about 10 dB of some kind of electrical noise. I don't know, maybe one of those plasma TVs that you all talk about. So, Dave, appreciate your call. Can hear you and hear Steve and John. GDN I was struggling with, so we won't stick around. We'll just say good afternoon to everyone and hope y'all have a good rest of the weekend. Glenn, I think it's you. If not, y'all correct me. N4AK, N4IYQ.
Goes to Jimmy and then to Glenn.
Roger, Dave. And I'll give it to Glenn next. K4JAL here. My Chuck. You got a weak signal today in comparison. Don't know what you're doing. We went out and bought groceries today. Set us back about 10 yards. And I bought fuel oil and kerosene Thursday, I think it was, about $2,100 worth of stuff. And now I've got to put a roof on the hideout, so things are tough around Burnsville. Hope you're having a better day than I am, Glenn. N4AK, K4JAL, over to you.
Okay, Jimmy, K4JAL, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
So I don't know what kind of thing you're having, but mine seems to be okay so far. Anyway, 77 degrees over here at Sunset, South Carolina. Sunny, beautiful fall day. No rain in sight for about a week, so says the weatherman. And let's see, I'm on the beautiful DX100, 100 watts, D104, less than 10 pounds. HQ129 headphones, which makes all the AM sound just sound wonderful. And, you know, it must be Pastor Appreciation Day in every Baptist church. So we had one today too. So I hope somebody slipped your envelope with a couple of $100 in it there. Anyway, John, over to you. Program N4AK.
Yeah, very good, Glenn. N4AK in the group, K1VVC. And I'm copying everybody fine, using a modern radio today for a change. The Yaesu FTDX 5000, and driving my Dentron MLA 2500. So a couple of 100 watts out to half-wave input. So I've got another 75 meter antenna I'm going to put up probably next weekend, but it's been a hectic week and didn't have a chance to do it today. But everybody's sounding real good, and nice to be on, and good to hear you down in Myrtle Beach. So with that, WA4 FJQ K1VVC.
K1VVC, WA4 FJQ. Okay, thanks, John. You're really weak in here at High Point, as are some of the other stations. I got a ersatz, if you want to call it that, antenna up. My regular infed came down about 2 days ago, so I'm loaded up another vertical infed, cut for 40 meters, and you know, the SWR is about 3 or 4 on that, so I'm not putting out much power, and I'm having a heck of a time receiving on it. The noise level is really, really high. I'm going to stick around for a while, but I'm having a tough time with it. The rig is the AF68 and receiving on the PMR8 and feeding the transmitter over to the Centurion, Tentec Centurion. She's putting out around 200 watts carrier, so you know, 700-800 watts on peaks. So I guess this antenna is working sort of, but I think I'm going to have to put that other one back up again. It's a little bit of a pain to try to do it. A buddy of mine was over this afternoon. He said, "You really want to try this again? This is about the 4th time it's come down." So, you know, fools never learn, that kind of thing. At any rate, I'm going to turn it down to Mir if he's copying me at all. Here it comes, Mir, WF2U. This is WA4FJQ.
Yeah. WA4FJQ and the net. This is WF2U. Very good. 1 second. Hello. Oh, okay. I thought I have a problem with the SWR. No, I'm good. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And conditions are so-so. Especially the static level is pretty high. It's between S5 and 6. And a couple of stations like George and FJQ were just around S6, so only partial copy because of the noise level. Maybe it will improve later. Last weekend it happened the same way, that just about a half hour into the net, that noise disappeared, and then I was copying everybody just fine. Otherwise, signals are generally good. Dave URS 9, Steve 15 over 9, John KZ4B 20 over 9. I gave George's report. Cliff is 20 over 9. IYQ S9. Jimmy about S8, Glenn S8 to 9, John S9. So that's the reports. Using the old Yaesu station with a separate transmitter, receiver, and linear from the mid-80s. And the antenna is actually still the temporary antenna from the military antenna kit in my GRC 142 shelter. But I've just before the net I finished putting up the new mast over the vent opening of the garage over over the attic over the garage, which was broken in half but did not separate, so the effective height was only half of what it was. So at the peak of this inverted V was only about 16 or just about 16 feet over the ground. With a new mast, I hoisted the same thing up because I didn't have time before the net to finish building my 80-meter end fed that is going up there, with the other side going to a 60-foot tree. So now the center is making it to about 26 feet, and the ends, instead of just coming down to about the 4 feet fence on both ends, now it's 10 feet high. So I don't know if my signal is getting any better or whatever. In the meantime, next week I'll have the antenna built and hoisted up, but at least the hard work was working in that very hot little space over the garage, and I had to work like a contortionist. I took the louvers out so I could lean a little bit out of the opening, and mounted the 10-foot mast from a water pipe, and a 1-inch water pipe. It's never going to bend in the middle. So anyway, it's 74 degrees here and sunny. With that, it goes to, let's see, WA4FJQ, and the net. This is WFTU.
I think it goes to me. Cape WF2U and the group W4MEC. Okay. Not peaked up. I got an issue. Anyway, hello everybody. It's about 67 degrees here and overcast. No. Everybody's booming in. You're sounding fine, Tom, over here. Using a different rig today. Using my Heathkit DX60A, which is converted to a B, which is nothing more than putting the parts back into the B that they took out in the A, which was in the original DX60, if you can follow that. And receivers an HR10, the VFO's the HG10. We're going through a Hunter 2000 amplifier. I thought it had it peaked, but it's only putting out about 20 watts of carrier. It should be doing 50, because it's peaked and turned into the dummy load instead of the antenna. And let's see, DX60 only puts about 15 watts into it, so I get about 50 watts carrier out. And it's the way it's tuned now, I get about 150 peak power. So anyway, I think it has a little hum on it. I heard it earlier. I'm not sure why. I believe it's in the audio circuit, either the filament leaking into the audio too close or something, because the DC is very clean when you go to CW. So
something in the audio mic circuit there is picking up a little hum. Let's see. Boone, WA4EVK in the group. W4MEC.
W4MEC in the group. WA4EVK. Not too much going on here. Bright and sunny and Pickens mostly up to this point. Running AF68 into a Swan Mark 1 linear, about 300 watts out, into an in-fed half-wave cut for 160. Fell back on the SDR receiver today so I could play around with synchronous AM detection, which has turned out to be real good today. Have been working with common mode chokes, finally used a little measurement deal that I bought a year or so ago, and that's about it over here. Back to you, Dave. WA4LLR to take it, WA4EVK.
All right, Boone, fine business, WA4EVK, WA4LLR. All right, real good. Any other stations that would like to join us, come now.
WB4ARK.
All right, recognizing Buddy, WB4ARK. Do we have anyone else? Okay, Buddy, go ahead and tell us something and send it back to me. WB4ARK, WA4LR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Well, everybody that I heard is coming in quite strong. I think I got in when KZ4B was transmitting. And temperature here is 70 degrees. It's been overcast all day as it was yesterday. Looked like it was going to rain at any moment, but it did not. It spitted a little bit, but that's about it. And that's what it's done today. Just a little spit here and there, and that's the end of it. So that was actually when I was driving in the car earlier this afternoon, about 2 o'clock. And that was fairly close to the house. Mir, I wonder if your shelter has any actual usable radio equipment in it, and if so, when are you going to operate from the shelter, or will you be able to operate from the shelter? So that's a question there. I will turn it back to WA4LLR, WB4ARK.
All right, real good, buddy. Beautiful signal, 30 over. One more time, any other stations, come now. All right, I guess we've got everybody. Well, let's see. Boone, the AF68 sounds great, and Charlie, the DX60 sounds really good. And Tom, you have climbed to about 15 over now, so the band is improving. So no problem whatsoever on your temporary antenna. Sorry about the main antenna being down. And John, the FTDX 5000 really sounds good. You're 40 over up here, booming. And Glenn, the DX100 is doing a great job as well. You're loud too. Let's see, Jimmy. Bought groceries. That's a sticker shock enough. And then you bought kerosene and fuel oil. That's enough to make you need counseling. And you got to have a roof on the hideout. So you might want to take a sleeping pill or something and go to bed. Chuck, if you're listening, 7-3 to you, and good deal on helping your friend out there, and good afternoon to him. Cliff, you got your usual strong signal over here, and George, the Drake's doing a good job up this way. John, the T150 as always is top shelf, and thanks for the signal report. And Steve, I'm not running a plastic mic. Actually, this mic is heavier than my D104. It's a Heil Classic copy of a 1930s broadcast mic. No, I don't have any plastic mics to my knowledge. Well, now let's see. Yeah, I do. I've got a couple of hand mics that are plastic. The one on my 857D is plastic. I'll give you that. But this one is not. Anyway, let's see. Space weather. Sunspot number is 108. Solar flux index is 131. And the K index is 4.33. It's unsettled. We're in some high-speed solar wind coming from a coronal hole on the sun, and we may be getting the effect of a CME later today or tomorrow. So we'll just have to watch that and see how it goes. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1492, Columbus sighted the New World. On this day in 2000, Al-Qaeda suicide bombers took a rubber boat and attacked the USS Cole destroyer, blew a 40-foot hole in the side of it, killed 17 sailors, 39 more were wounded. On this day in 1915, an English nurse, Edith Cavell, was executed by a firing squad by the German soldiers for assisting Allied soldiers. On this day in 1901, Theodore Roosevelt changed the name of the Executive Mansion to the White House. What else on this day? On this day in 1810, the first Oktoberfest was celebrated in Munich in the form of a horse race held in honor of the marriage of the Crown Prince of Bavaria. And one last one, on this day in 2007, Al Gore won the Nobel Prize for his film An Inconvenient Truth. So, that's enough about that. So we'll go back down the list. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Inconvenient. It was. It's really inconvenient now, isn't it? Well, sorry about that classic mic. Man, I should have known. That was a classic mic just by the sound of it, not plastic. But it does sound very classy. And let's see here. I can give a report. George, you're sounding good up here. Let's see. I was going to comment on Glenn, the DX100, sounding pretty good, I think. And VVC, John, that big expensive rice box sounds really good. I mean, it's got great audio. Sounds like the real thing. Yaesu did a good job on AM. I think most of their rigs can put out good sounding AM. And Tom, FJQ, I can't imagine how many times that antenna has fallen down. You're going to have to use some kind of aircraft cable or something to hold it up. But you were always super strong, and now you're only 15 over 9. So, I mean, that's really a good signal considering that you're using a 40-meter antenna. And I wonder if you're just feeding, let's see, that should have an impedance of close to 50 ohms, except you're feeding it through a 49-to-1 transformer, so you're dropping it down 49 times. So what's left? 1 ohm? Either that or you bypass the transformer, which might work. Maybe that's what you did. And Mayor's 15 over 9, doing good up here. And Charlie, that DX60 has great audio. It's communication grade. It's very crisp and clear. And interesting, you got your Heathkit stuff, the HR10 and the old Hunter amp, and it just sounds wonderful. So that's the high points. I'm sitting here working on that Drake 2A that came in all beat up, and I took it apart and took a hammer to it a while ago, and I got the dents out of it, and actually it looks pretty good now. It's got some serious AGC problems. like when you turn the RF gain all the way down, the AGC quits and it gets real loud, and you put it in standby mode, it beeps and squawks and carries on. I can't get enough ABC voltage. And I've got the original invoice from Drake where they worked on it many, many years ago, and I think it's got some of the same problems that they probably couldn't fix. I think maybe it's got some wrong value parts in it, but Drake is hard to work on because they use these little bitty, I guess you'd call them circuit or perf boards that are mounted edgewise underneath the chassis with parts stuck through holes, and it's all direct wired, but and then all the cable is laced, and it's really hard to trace. You come off pin 1 of a tube with a wire and it goes somewhere and you can't figure out where, and it probably goes to one of these boards, and you look at the board, it's got wire soldered on it, so it is very difficult to trace. But fortunately, I've got a 2B that works, so I'm going to bring the 2B up, and they're very similar, at least this part of it is. So I'm going to bring it up and see if I can probably figure it out from there, but it's just takes forever to trace this thing out. So with that and all the complaining, I'm turning it over to KZ4B N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, KZ4B. Fine business there, Steve. But you forgot to tell me how a D104 got to weigh 10 pounds. So on your next transmission, please elaborate. And I decided to take one step forward and several steps back on my broadcast transmitter. I'm adding another 150 micromic bread slicer main tuning capacitor in the tank circuit to make it easier to tune on 160. And that meant that I had to tear apart some of the work that I have previously done to add that capacitor, and I'm getting that back in there. I hope I can finish that project before I croak, but it could be a close run thing if I even get close. Shifting gears, Charlie, elaborate on your DX60. I don't detect any carrier shift. That's a screen grid modulated unit. Is that stock, or is it one of the redos that make the DX60 sound more like a high-level plate modulated screen grid modulated unit? Please elaborate. It does sound quite good, so it's not everybody's imagination. It's doing a good job. And let's see, I was gonna comment on something, and it went in one ear and out the other. Can't remember what it was now. So, for a change, you guys get a brief one. Don't clap too loud. So, George, take it away down there, and I hope you can stay dry. K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B in the groups, K4GDN. Yeah, we're staying dry. It's still raining a little bit out there. And Tom, you're coming in great down here in Myrtle Beach. You're one of the loudest signals, so whatever you're doing with that antenna sure does seem to be working. Everybody's coming in here fairly well. Weakest signal is probably Glenn, but you're staying above the noise. And usually I do have a little bit of problems copying Glenn, but you're coming in well here today. Like I say, everybody else is coming in here pretty good. And appreciate you guys putting up with the control carrier on the right. it's probably kicking up a couple of hundred watts over peaks anyway. Like I say, when I tuned it up, I tuned it to 200 watts on the L4B. And what's kind of unusual is Drake tells you to run the thing in the SSB mode, which is a higher voltage rather than CW. And they also say if you're going to use a 100% modulated AM transmitter to tune the thing up for 500 watts input. That's pretty stiff. That's on the L4B for a pair of 3-500s. I don't think I'd want to quite go that hot, at least not on the input. But anyway, be that as may, I do like the L4B amplifier. If it would get 160, I would probably part with my TL922A, because the L4B is much easier to work on with the separate power supply and the separate amplifier unit. So I'm gonna say 73 on this one, but I'm gonna listen to the end of this round in case there's any comments. I'll come back. So Cliff, it's coming to you. Oh, and Dave, thanks for calling the net. And again, thanks everybody for putting up with my control carrier. WB4NKL in the group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, it's WB4NKL. Well, good copy, George, and I wouldn't notice it if I didn't look at the S-meter. You sound fine on the on just listening on the audio. Good copy all the way around. Tom's coming in good on the vertical antenna here, so it's a working. And Charlie, I got a good copy on you. I could detect a little bit of hum in the background, but not real bad. There is a little bit there to do something with. Steve, good deal on the 2A. Those things are, the AGC is a really high impedance circuit. It don't take much to get those things not working quite right. I know, if a tube's got just a little bit of grid current, grid leakage, it'll really throw it off. So the tube can give you some problems. I've run into that on a couple of them. And then one of them, that adjustment back there on the AGC actually had some leakage to ground through that pot, and I think that might be common. I seen somewhere an article where somebody else had a problem with that. It's like a 20 meg pot, and it had some leakage to the case. Let's see, that's about it. I'll send it on around. Chuck was real strong here. He said he was at a neighbor's, but he must be closer than normal because he had a good signal here. But I think he said he'd send it on to Jimmy this time. So go ahead, Jimmy. K4JAL, it's WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, K4JAL, well, good enough. Yeah, Chuck was weak on me. I hadn't listened closely enough to find out where he was. He's usually at home. I'm on the ART-13 as usual, and I've got the Drake 2A going, and since we got it ironed out, it does a bang-up job for me. I really like it. Not much going on here other than that, waiting around for fried chicken supper. Over to you, Glenn. N4AK, K4JAL.
Okay, Jimmy, K4JAL in the group. November 4 Alpha Kilo, and okay on the fried chicken supper. I have some stuff that's a little bit excess to my needs. I have an Icon 7300, and I know there's a new one coming out, but this one I've had a couple of years, and it works perfectly. I got the box and the manual, and it'll come with the desk mic. I forgot the number of it, but it's a desk mic for a little Icon. As you fellas have heard, it puts out a good signal. So I need about $600 for that if it's doable, and with that you got a haul off for Icon 7200, which at one time was working, and I flipped it on once or twice and it quit. so it's probably a relay, I hope. But anyway, take it and play with it. So asking $600 with my group here for that, whoever shows up at the door. And I've got a bird watt meter. It has 3 elements. It has the 250 each, which is 250 watts, 2 to 30 megahertz. I got the 1000C, that's 1000 watt, 100 to 250 megahertz. 50 watt, 50B, at 50 to 125 megahertz. So I don't know how to figure out the cost of that. I look on eBay, they're exorbitant. So I don't know. I was thinking $400. If you can convince me that's too high, just let me know. So anyway, that's some items. And John KZ4B, I have a John B&W transmitting variable capacitor. I haven't measured the value, but I think the number is CX58 Bravo or B&W. So I don't know if you can use it on what you're doing or not. But I should go measure the capacitance on this thing. It's about half as big as a shoebox. It's a giant. So, passing things on down the list. John, K1VVC, N4AK.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Glenn. N4AK in the group, K1VVC. And everybody's coming through okay. It's good to hear everybody on today. First of all, John, KZ4B, send me a picture of what type of capacity you're looking for. I have a lot of capacitors, and I might have something like what you need or close to it. Anyhow, yesterday I went to a little ham fest down in Little Mountain, South Carolina, which I didn't even know where that was. But it was around Prosperity and Pomerania, South Carolina. 2 other places I didn't know. It was a Dutch Fork amateur radio group, and they put on a really nice little ham fest. I was absolutely amazed at some of the stuff that turned up there. And I was finally able to get an Elecraft KX2 for a reasonable price. I already have a KX3, and I also wanted the KX2, but it was really good. And luckily it was only an hour from the house. No rain here at all, and I don't know when we're going to get any. I just looked at the, the 7-day weather forecast. They don't say anything about any rain. And I don't think there's anything exciting coming up, except that I think I'm going to be home Thursday morning. I'm going to try and come on at 8 in the morning. I'm usually at the gym at that time, but my trainer's going to be away, so I'm going to try and come on. With that, over to Tom. And not too strong here, but I can copy. WA4FJQ from K1VVC.
Yeah, K1VVC, this is WA4FJQ. Well, I was copying just fine. The band's picked up, and all of a sudden, there's this incredibly loud ignition noise that's coming from somewhere. I can't figure out where. So I switched over the loop, and I could copy pretty well on that. The noise level dropped down, but the ignition noise is still there. The ANL, the PMR8 doesn't take it all out. So I think I'm going to say 73s. And Steve, I do have some copper-coated steel wire, and I'm definitely going to get it strung out because this just isn't working too well. I know I'm transmitting out pretty well, which is remarkable. The SWR on this 40-meter in-fed was 3.5, 3.5, and the return loss is 10. So it's not all that efficient, but apparently it's putting out a signal. Well, I'm just having a heck of a time trying to receive with this really, really loud ignition noise. So we'll say 73s, and you may not hear me back on until I can get that original antenna put back up on top of the tree. We'll give it one more try, and then that's it. Okay, coming down to you here, W2F2U. This is WA4FJQ, off and clear.
Roger, Roger, WA4FJQ and the net. This is WFTU. Tom, you're doing much better than in the previous round. You're peaking up to S8, QSB down to S7 or so, but QRN is still between S6 and 7. So you enough above that, so you can you're coming through pretty nicely. And yeah, buddy, reply to your question. I have all the original equipment in the GRC 142 shelter, which means that I have the GRC 106 transceiver in it, which is a 400 watt RTTY CW and single sideband system. I'm not using it on for ham communications, except for I use it on the military collectors nets that are held on upper sideband only, in view of the fact that a lot of the first and second generation military sideband radios only had upper sideband. So I use it on the Midwest Military Radio Collectors net on 40 meters usually, and I can use it on CW everywhere between 2 and 30 megahertz. So that's not a problem. And it has AM, but it's only on upper sideband also, and it has some problems. I don't know of any GRC 106 that work properly on AM. I have to reduce the output power of the exciter because for some reason pressing the push to talk gives it some sort of a surge, give it some kind of a surge in the ALC, but the wrong way, and the 400 amplifier always turns off, gets into overload mode, and no matter what I do, if it gets into AM, as soon as it goes into AM, it does it, and I'm not the only one, so nobody is using it on AM. I think there is a fix for that somewhere, but I don't want to bother with it, because every time I try to use a sideband radio on AM, one of the military sideband radios that always transmits on one sideband only, I get complaints that the AM doesn't sound good. Even on this net, I attempted a couple of times, so I don't bother. But it works very nicely on upper sideband, CW and RTTY, especially that I also have the full RTTY equipment in the shelter, just as original. It's completely original with all the accessories and everything. It has the RTTY modem in there, and I have a tape puncher and reader machine, and I also have the regular printer machine, all Kleinschmidt equipment, which I like. I think they're sort of a little bit more sophisticated mechanically than the teletype brand. They look a little nicer also in packaging, the cabinet and everything, but they work very well. so I use that too on the military RTTY network. Of course, when Navy and Marine Corps Mars was still operational before they closed it, I was a Navy Mars member, and I used that setup a lot of times. So that works very well. Anyway, so I hogged it enough. Hope now you get a better idea of what I have there. So I also have all the necessary, and according to the parts list of the shelter, I have all the accessories for it, including also a phone patch, a military version of phone patch that connects to a field telephone line. Okay, so that's and a dummy load and a power meter is there too. So with that it goes to I guess, I don't know why I have Boone's call letter here. Call letters here after my turn. He didn't come up the last time, so I guess, let's see. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, so the next one is Charlie. So W4MEC and the group, this is WFTU.
Okay, here, WF2U and the group W4MEC, tangled up here. A real good copy all around. There's the got it up to 40. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. I gotta do a little fine tuning here. The load control is very broad on this hunter. All right, good. I actually copy everybody, just 100%, no problem. I just heard my first static crash there when Mirror stopped transmitting. I haven't heard anything. Band's been dead quiet here. Everybody's got good signals on this HR-10. Even Tom with that mystery antenna was S9, solid copy. I don't know, maybe you've got something there. You've discovered something there. A 40-meter vertical on the old friends on 3715. The DX60 there, John, is, well, if you know the progression of the DX60, the 60, the 60A, and the 60B. In the 60A, they took out one filter in the high voltage side and a resistor, and they changed the screen grid resistor, screen grid modulation resistor on the 6DE7 modulator. And I think there might have been, I can't remember if there's any other changes. In the 60B, they put all the parts back in that they took out in the 60A. Maybe Heathkit was trying to save a couple bucks or something, but they put them back in the 60 Bravo, and they painted the cabinet a different color to match the HR-10B. And the only difference between any HR-10, there is no A, there's a HR-10, there's HR-10B, is the color and the texture of the paint on the cabinet. That's the only difference in the receiver. But the transmitter, basically, this DX60A is now a DX60B with the shiny, smooth cover. So, if there was somebody from Heathkit that was still around that would know why they wanted to take the parts out in the 60A model, it'd be nice to ask them what the reasoning was. But I'm sure it was to save a buck. But apparently it made it hummy. I don't know. So basically it's a stock transmitter with a schematic that looks like a 60 Bravo, and no other modifications done to it. I am using a D104 microphone, amplified and set on the setting that goes with the ART13. So I just plugged it in over here. And it uses a push-to-talk circuit that's nothing more than a relay that changes the antenna, mutes the receiver, and keys the transmitter through the transmitter CW key jack. So I can leave it in AM if I want, and it'll sit there and not do anything, and I don't have to keep moving that function switch back and forth, which are known to burn up. So that's the story on that. So anyway, not a whole lot else here going on. I got a family party we're going to at the big fish restaurant here in town in an hour, Bay Breeze, and I got to go feed the dog over at my son's house because they all went over to what is that darn amusement park over there in Charlotte. Is it Six Flags? I can't remember the name of that darn thing. Anyway, they all went over there to celebrate something or other, school or something, I don't know. But they're not here, and I got to take care of the dog. So that's my big activity for today. WA4EBK in the group, W4C.
W4MEC in the group, WA4EBK. Well, fine business, Charlie. I'm sitting here changing the parameters on this synchronous detector and playing with it and seeing what effects it has. Everyone has a good signal in here, or at least I'm copying them real well. Tom was, FJQ was just fine copy. I am pretty happy with the synchronous AM detector at this point. Plan on using it either here or on one of the interceptors on the eye. Not too much to add to that. I'm going to send it over to Buddy. WB4ARK, WA4EBK.
Okay, WA4EBK, WB4ARK. That's called Caro Winds, Charlie. Your unit sounds really good this afternoon. And the shelter sounds very interesting, Mir. Sounds like you've got the full complement of everything that goes in there. So that should make for a very nice unit. And I'm glad you get to use that thing once in a while. I started picking up static crashes about the time the second round started, and they're getting more frequent. The winds picked up, and it looks a little bit darker in the west, which I have a clear view from the northwest to the west from my radio room. And so I wonder what's getting ready to happen. Pretty strong static crashes. This so-called nor'easterner, which did not occur, did not get any rain out of it at all. A slight amount of wind. It was rather breezy yesterday, but not bad. We had a friend from Travelers Rest, South Carolina, come up with his granddaughter and grandson, his wife, and I'm not going to say what, well, anyhow, they rode on the steam engine, and also we had the diesel locomotive hooked up as a helper engine. So that was a real nice afternoon. I think he left about 2:30, something like that. And we had a very good day. No rain, nothing. Very nice afternoon. He got there about maybe 10 o'clock, something like that, 9:45. So anyhow, that's what went on yesterday. We're on the ART-13 today, R390A receiver. So it's been a very good net, and I'm going to say 73 at this point. And thank Dave for calling the net this afternoon. And I'm going to take a look and see what might be going on. Stick my head outside and see what if I can hear some thunder off in the distance, because these static crashes are pretty strong. So anyhow, everybody's signal has held up all afternoon, and no serious QSB and no low signals. Everybody's very strong. So with that, we'll send it back to Dave, and everybody have a great rest of this Sunday. WA4LLR, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, fine business. I was just looking at the radar. I don't see anything west of you, but down around Florence and then north of Myrtle Beach, there's quite a bit of electrical activity. So I think everything, according to the radar, is kind of south and east of you. But as the band lengthens out, those static crashes are going to get stronger. Okay, well, 7-3 to Buddy, 7-3 to Boone, not Boone, Tom, 7-3 to Mark, 7-3 to, good Lord, K4GDN, George. Oh, me, senior moment here. Let's see. Tom, sorry about the noise. I guess you're gone by now. Charlie, you're 35 to 40 over, so, man, that DX60 doing a great job. Buddy's 40 over. John, congratulations on getting the other aircraft that you needed. Glenn, prices I think are pretty good on what you're looking to liquidate. Steve, I do hope you get the Drake 2A issue straightened out. Well, it's a little after 6, but as Charlie has said, we don't really have to get out as quickly as we used to, so I think we'll go ahead and do a 73 round if you'd like to. Let's not make it old buzzard transmissions, but I got to run to the grocery store here before long. But we will do a 73 round. So, John, KZ4B, you'll give it to Cliff. And Cliff, of course, to Jimmy. And John, VVC, you'll give it to Mir. And Boone will be tail end Charlie. So, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Okay, Dave. I do have an answer for John on this 10-pound D104. And I was actually just trying to shame Dave because he said he had a plastic mic. I thought he said he had a plastic mic, which turned out to be a classic mic, which may be a plastic classic mic, but nope. Anyhow, I was just trying to over-exaggerate, so it's not really 10 pounds. Okay, it's been a good net. I hope to see somebody tonight on 160 at the usual time, 8 o'clock on 1864. And we'll see y'all later. 73s and John, KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, fine business, N4LQ and the group KZ4B. Good going, Steve, and thanks for clearing up the mystery. You had me on the edge of my seat. And let's see here. Conditions were quite good today. I've heard the loud static crashes, but I guess Dave has cleared that situation up. It's overcast here, but no dark clouds or anything. So, I'm not trying to purchase any new high voltage tuning capacitors, but thanks for thinking about me, John. I've got 2 Johnson bread slicers, with 1/4-inch spacing. It should be good for, I think it's 9 kV, which ought to go nicely in the broadcast transmitter. And it's about 40 to 150 picofarads each. One is enough on 80 meters, although that's pushing it. But when you get on 160, it's better to have two connected together in parallel. And so you've got 300 picofarads, and so that you don't end up having to switch in and out a lot of pattern capacity. So so I'll have 300 micro mics maximum with a bread slicer, and I think that can handle anything the broadcast transmitter needs to do. And it is 1/4-inch spacing, which is good for 9,000 volts, I think. So we're in good shape. It's just a case of rearranging things, and not easy but doable. So enjoyed it today. Thanks for calling the net, Dave. And boy, my D104 is feeling heavier and heavier. I hope I can handle that. So over to Cliff, and you're booming in as usual. Conditions are really quite good today. WB4NKL and the group KZ4B clear but listening.
KZ4B, WB4NKL. Thank you, John. You got about a 20 over signal here also. Good signals from everybody. Not hearing the static so much here. It's pretty far down. I guess I'm far enough away from the beach to lose it. 73s. Thanks for calling it, Dave, and we will try to catch everybody there Tuesday. Go ahead, Jimmy. K4JAL, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, K4JAL. Well, yeah, it was a good net. It started out with a lot of static around here, but it died out, and I could even hear George, which is unusual, him down there in the storm. Hope everybody has a good evening. Catch you all next time. I think it goes to John. K1VVC, K4JAL. Cleared listening.
I don't think Jim signed.
This is Glenn. Is that where it goes?
Yeah, it goes to Glenn.
Well, I just take a quick opportunity to say thanks for calling the net there for us, WA4LLR, and congratulations on the past Appreciation Day. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it. So thanks very much for calling the net. AM was great today. All the signals were good. Charlie, it seemed like I was detecting just a little bit of harm on your signal, but maybe somebody else, you were so strong, it's just a little bit. K1VVC and 4AKs.
How about it, John? You still with us? Must have been supper time. Go ahead, Mir.
Yeah, Roger. Very good. Okay, so let's see. N4AK, your signal is good. Everybody's signals are higher by at least an S point, and the noise, the S6 noise is gone completely. That static is not playing any annoying role here on the net right now, and the ambient noise is just about S4 now. So I guess as we go getting into the evening, it's the bend is improving somewhat. So thanks, Dave, for running the net, and thanks everybody who joined and made it possible also. And as always, enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next Saturday, I usually don't have the time to get on the net in the middle of the week for the morning sessions, and so that's why my activity on this frequency on this net is pretty much reduced to Sundays. So 73 all, and have a great week, everybody. See you next weekend, and maybe once in a while in the evening on 160. So with that, it goes to, let's see, if Boone is still here, it goes to Boone. No, okay. Yeah, I know I had something screwed up here on the list. So it's Charlie's turn. W4MEC and the group, this is WFTU 73 all. I'll be listening to the official end of the net. 73 all.
Okay, Bear. WFTU and the group W4MEC. Real good. Let's see. Yeah, I know about the hum. I could hear it here. My scope quit. I need to fix that and see what's going on. Like I mentioned, I believe it's in the audio circuit, either the filament voltage or something in the mic amp or near it is radiating a little filament hum into it. Anyway, got to go feed the dog. The dog is a mix of boxer and beagle, and they were hoping to get something closer to the beagle size, but what they've got is something closer to the boxer size. So it's a sweet dog, but dumber than dirt. So. And we'll see you fellas on Tuesday morning, and I hope to make it tonight, Steve, but I don't know when we'll get done with this party, so I got an excuse tonight. 7-3 all. We'll see you later. Thanks for running the net, Dave. WA4EVK, WF4MEC. Bye-bye.
W4MEC in the group, WA4EVK. Well, once again, thanks, Dave, for running the net, and I've not got too much here. I wanted to see if Jimmy was still on frequency. Jimmy, K4JL, you still around? That sound like you pulled a switch. I'll catch up with him later on. Steve, I'll see you at 8 on the 160 meter net. We'll go from there. Back to you, Dave. WA4LLR, WA4EVK.
All right, Boone, fine business. WA4EVK, WA4LLR. We've had a great net, just wonderful signals. And now, hopefully the closer we get to cooler weather, the better it's going to be. So thank you for your participation, and we'll say 73. God bless. Everybody have a great finish to the weekend. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Tuesday. This is WA4LLR in Burnsville, North Carolina, closing this session of the Old Friends Net. 73.